I'm discussing the Kabbalistic tree of life. It was one of the things requested when I asked for some suggestions for videos lately, and it seemed to be one of the most popular topics. This is Enochian.org, by the way, in case it wasn't abundantly obvious with my plethora of videos. So the tree of life. It is a handy tool to use for alchemical transformation. Okay, other things too, but that's what I'm going to discuss because that is what I use it for and that is what I teach using it for. It is basically a map of the universe. These days, well, since about 1890 or so, or I guess actually a bit older than that, maybe the 1700s, it has been the modern depiction that we all think of it as. And the colors we all think of it as, the modern colors. However, before this, it was concentric circles. You know, similar to how the ethers are drawn out, but no, the tree of life and the ethers do not line up. I have another video which rants about that, but... So the tree of life was the concentric circles, and if you're wondering why, it's because back in the day, that is how astrology and astronomy were viewed. That is how all the diagrams were drawn. The Earth was considered the center of the universe. Yeah, it all makes sense, right? We're the center of the universe, aren't we? Well, they thought so. Astronomers of the day and astrologers most definitely thought this. And I guess if you're looking at astrology, in a way, from that perspective, it is, because it's all based on how it affects this planet. Anyways, you have the Earth as the base, Malkuth, the 4 elements. And then you go outwards. Some would say up, I would say more outwards. And some would say straight up, I would say outwards in every direction from every single thing. Because essentially, this is in every atom, every cell, every being, every sentient item, I guess an unsentient item really, of this universe. And if you use the tree of life diagram, you have any of these things as the starting point. And it starts with the most base, the most physical, what we're used to, what we're trained to only see, and what is the most solid and physical on this mundane earth. That's where it starts, down in Malkuth, with the 4 elements. And then as you move upwards, you have Yesod, which is the moon. And it goes further out, goes to Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the underlying planets, and then the divine. So you're moving up to the divine, or outwards to the divine, or some might say inwards. That's just another way to look at it. But back in the day, it was concentric circles. And it's basically however you want to see it, whichever direction you want to go with it, is going from the most base physical, the most dense of energy, to less dense, less dense, less dense, and more ethereal until you're united with the divine. So how do you use this as an alchemical tool? There's the inner work part, and of course I cover that in other videos and courses and such. But then there's also the out-of-body travel. Now with out-of-body travel, you can do it in a few ways. You can do it by going deep within to your center and your core, because you know, as above, so below, as within, so without. And if you go within deep enough, you sort of pop out past yourself. Sometimes if you think you're traveling outside of yourself, you're just sitting there traveling within your own aura anyways. So you can experiment with various methods. So the different methods of traveling to the outerlying spheres of this tree are astral travel, where you leave your body astrally and head on out. So many people say they can't astral travel and have trouble with it. I say, fake it until you make it. Okay, sure, so perhaps you're not astral traveling at first. Perhaps you're not getting very far. But if you keep doing it and you keep at it, you'll get better at it and eventually it will work. Just keep trying it and stop the doubting crap. We all do that. So just keep working at it and you'll find that you are able to move further and more solidly out of your body. Another method some people like is to use a scrying mirror. And there's a couple of ways to use the scrying mirror. One is to see visions within the mirror. One is to see visions within the mind's eye, the scrying mirror or ball or whichever is just your focus. And another one is to just jump into the scrying mirror and travel that way. And then some people like the astral temple method, where you go into your astral temple, which is in Malkuth, and then you travel to the other spheres. There are so many methods that are outlined in so many books and taught by so many people. Which one do you use? The one that you like and will keep doing over and over and over. And of course, you can try all sorts of different methods, but you should pick one and stick to it for all 10 Sephiroth. Now, how to approach these 10 Sephiroth? Well, you can do it all at once. Just head on up, get up together, unite with the divine, and then head back down. Now, if you just keep going up, 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 and never back down, there's these things called chi deviations and Kundalini syndrome and all sorts of things which screw up your energy and your thinking and your mind and your magic. So you don't want to go there. So when you head up, you always want to head back down after you're done going up. Highly recommended. Sure, you may think, I want to be more spiritual, I want to be more connected. Well, how it works it does not work by just keep going up, because you have to bring it back down here to yourself. Or you're just going to be all up in your head and go a little unbalanced. Does not work. You know, the whole saying that they always say, especially when you're in Zelator or when you're in Malkuth, is that the stronger the foundation you build, the higher the house you can build. So, strong foundation here and always bring the energy back down. So you can do it all in one day, all 10, head on up, head on back down. Because, hey, who doesn't have a few hours to spare one day, right? So that's one method. However, you can try that once in your travels at some point. But you can also try the, let's do 1 Sephiroth a day, or 1 Sephiroth a week, or 1 Sephiroth a month. Now, if you do it longer than 1 per month, you're likely going to lose track and not stick with it. Though, awesome and kudos if you do. 1 a month would be good. Now, various orders, they initiate you into the different Sephiroth and the different grades, but then you have a teacher encouraging you and a set system and a set pile of set practices, so you sort of keep on it. You don't just forget about it and slack off. But if you're on your own, I'd recommend 1 a day, 1 a week, 1 a month. You know, a series of workings where you focus on the Sephiroth and bring it, the energies of it into your life so you can work through it and work on it. And then, of course, dream diaries are extremely important during this. And as I said, when you go up to each one, to come back down. And if you've completed all 10, going upwards, guess what your next series of workings is? It is each day, week, or month to come back down one by one. So what you're doing, going up, at least the way I do it and I teach it, is that you're discarding your dross, your inner crap, what is no longer needed, the parts of you that are not needed for your spiritual path and elevation. You're discarding them as you go up to each Sephiroth, one by one, bit by bit. Now, how to discard this stuff? There's a few methods. One is to write down what you're going to work on, doing some inner work, going deep within, doing the Sephiroth outside of you, as well as the Sephiroth that is within you, as within, so below. sorry, as within, so without, as above, so below. So you can work on it that way. And then another way, as you're traveling upwards, you're releasing and letting go of the extra base energy that keeps you solid down to here. Now keep in mind, this is just for while you're traveling up to the next Sephiroth. Is to let that go. And then when you're back in your regular life, doing your day-to-day job and so forth, make sure you are grounded and back on this plane, or things are going to go a little wonky for you, which you don't want. So as you go up each one, you let go and release the extra energy and dross that is not needed from the Sephiroth before that. And you're moving up and becoming more ethereal, less solid, less physical. For the journeying part, for you, your half an hour, whichever session is when you're doing this. Again, I remind you, when you come back and you're done the session, ground well and get back into your regular daily life and perform it regularly. Or else things aren't going to go well, or else you're not going to be able to manifest what you need down here. So this is something that you would do, like I said, every day, week, month, however you wish to do it, on the way up through all the Sephiroth, and then again on the way back down. Now, if something gets in the way, usually one's false ego, but things come up. We subconsciously manifest them, but they come up. Something comes up and you get a little stuck part way. You can resume later. But do try to resume. Try not to be stuck in one, or you just might have a long time being stuck in one particular ether. Some of them might be fun, but it's unbalanced if you're sitting in one area. And then, as I said again, once you're done your 10, make sure to slowly go back down at the same pace that you went up, is my recommendation. So what I do with either the Tree of Life or the Ethers, again, they are different, but they're both maps of the universe, is you go up, letting go of what you no longer need, what no longer is serving you on your spiritual path, and in your life for that matter. And then you get up and you would do the connect with the divine, learn what you need to learn. That's a whole, probably 100 video lecture in itself. But then you would take this with you, all that you learned, all that you united, the divine, etc., and you would bring it back down bit by bit, stage by stage, step by step, to manifest it into your life, into your path, into all that is you and your physical on this plane, on this earth. You just bring it down step by step by step, and it would become more solid. You would solidify this more and more into your life. The positive aspects of it, of course. And one last thing I should say about the Tree of Life. Doth, get over it. I know, well, I like to think that we're crossing the abyss. And sure, it does happen in your life at some point, maybe. After you've been at it 20 years, 30 years, whatever. It does happen. It can happen. And then, of course, I've noticed that there seems to be a teeny abyss. Or two. Like a really mini, teeny, weeny one on your way up to Yesod. And then a mini one right before Tefirith. I seem to have noticed. But the big one, everybody wants to say that they're in the abyss anytime you go through a period of depression in your life, which, hey, sometimes it is, but usually it's just a period of depression in your life or working through some shit. It's not always you're stuck in the abyss. Of course, everybody wants to say they crossed the abyss. That's another debate. Some people in paths say that you cannot cross in your physical body. Others say that you can. Whatever. That's just another thing to distract you. Sitting there dwelling on the abyss, whether you're in the abyss, whether you're going through the abyss, whether you cross the abyss, those are all just distractions. Those are just keeping you from your journey. You can sit and dwell on that or dwell in that. No, you have to keep going. Fancy words and places you've been, that's all just distractions. Just keep going. Just keep moving. If you're too busy focusing on that, you're distracted, and you just sort of fell off the tree. You just fell off the path.
Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and share.